Hello, and welcome back to the Diogenes Podcast. I'm your host, Christopher Willingham, and together we will chew our way through Wokistan in search of an honest man, or woman, or they, them. I'm just kidding. There's nothing honest about any of that. Today on the Diogenes Podcast, another installment of I Know You Are, But What Am I?, in which I discuss my most personal feelings about some important issues of the day. Today, the environment. I support the concept of the biosphere and a commitment to environmental stewardship that rationally balances a global standard of living and the adaptive capacities of human civilization with actual ecological concerns seen at scale, all adjusted as necessary to maintain social and environmental homeostasis. The planet is not merely a resource to be harvested, but the only home we have. And human flourishing, material advancement, biodiversity, and sustainability should not be seen as mutually exclusive. There simply is no good argument against keeping things clean and enjoying the astonishing abundance of the only habitable planet in the known universe. That said, I oppose catastrophizing narratives about imminent extinction events and mawkish environmentalist hand-wringing and hand-gluing to artistic masterworks that fail to consider the teleonomic expansion of life, which includes Homo sapiens, toward ever greater forms of complexity, which will likely eventually include our own extinction as the planet does what the planet does and other dominant forms of life emerge, possibly as a direct result of our technology. Hello, Moto. Ecology is increasingly practiced as a form of social justice instead of a life science, just as science is increasingly practiced as an endeavor somehow extrinsic and superior to life as it is lived. This has corrupted what should be a disinterested study of complex interdependent systems into an agenda-driven Rousseauist opposition to technological progress and civilizational expansion, which are increasingly necessary as second and third world populations rise. There is an intricate calculation to be made between the generation of wealth and energy and the resource consumption necessary for civilization to continue, and the impracticable delusions of net zero and renewables as some sort of panacea, really as absolution for the sin of progress. The people clamoring about environmental degradation and the climate crisis are the most privileged and the least equipped to endure life in the wild. They don't really care about the environment. They care about the preservation of a sublime depiction that scratches a primitive itch in their feral spirits, but always at a safe distance from that nature, read in tooth and claw, that is creation's final law, as Tennyson put it. Those tailings and waste pools are the byproducts of materials produced for your homes and appliances, you hypocrites, so move into a yurt off the grid or shut the fuck up. Even as a young tree-hugging hippie, it always amused me that the people most loudly proclaiming the death of God and the evil of capitalism seem to want to live in a matrifocal climate-controlled terrarium where the land is full and bright, where the handouts grow on bushes, and you sleep out every night. But the sun doesn't shine every day, and never at night, and the wind doesn't always blow, which must be why Bob Dylan can't find the answer in it. And electric car batteries are toxic. Solar panels are not recycled, and turbine blades kill millions of birds every year, disrupting a significant ecological niche. Never mind that statistically, nuclear power is the cleanest and safest energy source yet developed. An estimated 8 million people die annually from the use and emissions of fossil fuels, which have been in increasing production for over 200 years. That tallies to hundreds of millions of fatalities. By comparison, the absolute death toll from nuclear power-related events sits at under 15,000. This is 0.001%, 1/1000th of a percent. And while waste is a problem to be solved, the amount of nuclear waste generated per person for an entire lifetime's energy use is about the size of a quarter. Also, new technologies are facilitating the recycling of nuclear waste, which retains 95% of its energy generating potential with no emissions. Fully recycled, the radiotoxicity of fission products drops from a half-life of 24,000 years down to a half-life, wait for it, of 30 years, becoming fully inert in 2 centuries. Of course, standards for stewardship are necessary, but they will remain impossible without accounting for the fact that we are the most adaptive and intelligent species on the planet. Socially as well as biologically, there are always trade-offs to consider, but problems lead to solutions as well as to disasters. We may not have free will in the granular sense, but at the gross level of human behavior, we have choices. And thus far, it would seem that the arc of our adaptations bends toward greater complexity and efficiency in managing our needs and aspirations. We are made to solve problems, and encountering challenges is how we do it. The proof? There have been 10 glaciations of the planet since the first proto-humans appeared approximately 2 million years ago. During these periods, 30% of the available land mass was locked in ice for up to 100,000 years. But we're still here, and in greater numbers, with a higher standard of living and learning for more of the planet than ever. Of course, when the Yellowstone supervolcano erupts, millions will die immediately, the entire North American continent will be paralyzed, and food production will be so disrupted as to trigger a worldwide famine, killing billions. So I guess it's time to start terraforming the Moon and Mars. I think it is obvious that our survival, to say nothing of our flourishing, depends on responsible, measured progress, which requires conservative brake-checking as well as liberal openness to novelty. But progress just is this, otherwise it is maladaptive and it isn't progress at all. And if we fail to sustain ourselves as a species and or set off another in a series of naturally occurring great extinctions, so what? As that ultimately closed-end failed biological experiment George Carlin observed, the Earth's not going anywhere. We are. Pack your shit, folks. We're going away. That's from Jammin' in New York, 1992, a stone-cold classic. Is it fatalistic? Yes. But isn't that what makes life precious and worth fighting for while we have it? As Kermit the Frog said, "It's not easy being green." Remember, if you enjoy the content here on the Diogenes Podcast, please like and subscribe and tell your friends to join the pack. Also, share your thoughts in the comments section, but do so respectfully. We believe in free speech here at the Diogenes Podcast, but slurs are not arguments, and trolling is not a meaningful contribution to discourse. Besides, that's my fucking job. I'm Chris. Thanks for joining me.